Good morning, everyone. It's now Wednesday, so really excited. I just wanted to quickly, before we start with this morning, because I know that people watch this later, so they don't see it live, was just to say that people that have filled the forms in for the events, etc., just to let you know that Gate Street Barn, we're no longer doing the events there, so it's now at Dorking Hall. So if you put down for the June event and also you put down for Christmas, the Christmas event on the Wednesday is no longer happening, but we are doing the June event, which was called the Open Farm Sunday, which is now going to be in Dorking Halls. So I have emailed everyone to tell them about the Christmas at Gate Street and also told them about that. So if you don't want to be involved with the June Sunday, the June the 13th event, email me by 5 o'clock today to let me know. Otherwise, you'll be still on the obviously the availability, and we'll be in touch. Okay, so I just wanted so that people know. So check your emails and everything today. So Andy's already requested me, which is great. So let's just go over and we'll there a minute now, and let's have a look. Where is she? She's there somewhere. There she is. I see her pots. I see her kiln. And yay!
Good morning!
Good morning, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Really good, really good. When you said you were going to do with kiln, I'm so excited to see this. So this is really great. And did you like my little shout out this morning with the guy from the pottery?
Oh, Keith.
Yes, pottery, yeah. I believe it made me cry. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Can you see in my head? I'm just gonna
move down. Yes, it. Up. There we go. Beautiful. Can finally see it all brand new. That's it. Lovely. Lovely. I love the headband.
Thank you.
Fantastic. So introduce yourself, including your business name and what you make and sell.
My name's Andy. I'm from Parkgate Pottery, and I make small batch functional ceramics, and I also teach wheel threading lessons.
Fantastic. And where are you based, and when did you start your business?
I'm in the bottom of the garden in Newdigate, in our house, in my brand new beautiful studio, which I might give you a little pan around later. Definitely. Although it's a complete tip down that end. And I started Parkgate Pottery 2 years ago as a little change, needed to just do something different. And I've got a fine art degree, and I've been potting for years and years, but never actually done it as a full-time business. So took the plunge. Excellent. And yeah, here we are.
Yeah, no, it's great. So what is your favourite item to create, and why?
I think probably the conical planters. Absolutely love making those. Yeah. Because you make them upside down, so you actually make the cone shape that way. So you basically make it like a donut and then bring it up, which is really good fun to kind of collar in the clay, because it wants to, naturally clay wants to go out, so yeah, we have to tame it to get it in. And bowls. Bowls are my favourite because you can never have too many bowls. My husband might disagree with that, but you know, you have your favourite bowl, one for you making your hummus, one for your guacamole, one for eating your pasta out, and one for serving salads. Yeah. And they're just a really nice thing to make, because you really want to get that curve of that shape inside. So if you're using your spoon, you don't want it to kind of drag, you know, and you just use all these kind of tools, all these ribs. And so yeah, I'm going to throw a bowl.
Yeah, cool. So you okay me just talking as you do that? Yeah.
Yes, I can multitask, hopefully.
Multitask, of course. Where and what is your workplace? So it's almost kind of so in Newdigate.
Yes. So this is the new studio, which wasn't actually meant to be mine. Right. I had another studio which was nearer the house, but it was very, very tiny, and I kind of outgrew it. And my husband built this. We call it the mega shed. A couple of years ago. I think a bit more than that. And it was to house all our garden stuff, beekeeping equipment, car parts, maybe another car, and it wasn't quite finished. And then I kind of said, "Please, can I have it?" Yeah. And very begrudgingly, he was like, okay, that makes sense. So over Christmas lockdown, we divided it up. So just here, so he's got a third of it, bless him.
Oh.
So thanks, Ferg, love you. And then we insulated it, plasterboarded it out, and just finished it over Christmas, just really bashed on. And it's just such a beautiful space now. And you know, I can make, because the other space was very kind of frustrating because you can't make a lot of things because there's nowhere to put anything. Everything takes such a long time to make. You know, you've got like a 3-week turnaround time from start to finish.
Wow. And
in that time, everything's in its different stages, and it was taking over the house.
Yeah.
It was taking over the lounge, taking over the spare room, taking over the kitchen.
Yeah.
And here, because what I thought was interesting, what Caroline from Sweet Seas was saying about the humidity.
Yes.
And it's really important in ceramics to get it right, because if it's too damp in here, nothing's going to dry because the water can't evaporate. And also if it's too dry and if it dries too quickly, then you have issues with cracking, warping. So it's really important to kind of have a space that you can get to the right temperature. And in here, I think I'm getting used to it.
Yeah, and you kind of know where everything is and what's kind of happening as well then.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So have you, and I've seen it on Instagram, have you been working on anything new this year at all?
Oh, it's all sorts, yeah. So there's been a lot of collabs going on, which I absolutely love. So I worked with Adam and Tom from Bramwell Candle Company.
Yeah.
And just did a batch of coffee cups with Arthur's Coffee House in London. And then the latest one is with Gemma from Pure Mess, which are, hang on, these tiny little dishes. So it's her logo. And I think she's put it on Instagram, so
she has,
I'm not spoiling anything. So it's going to be for the face mask powder. So it has a glaze in the middle, so you hold like the little top of it, and then you mix your face mask up, which is really sweet.
Yeah, it is.
It's really nice.
Yeah, we know that Gemma is the collaboration queen, isn't she?
She is indeed. She is. Yeah, and then I've got we're going to be working with Flossie. We're going to be doing some illustrations and cards because I sell a lot of vouchers for throwing. So she's going to be doing the illustrations for that. So that's going to be really nice. Cool. That'd be really nice. Yeah. Look forward to seeing those. We have, as you know, we have an ethos about customer service. About being friendly, creative and unique. So what would you say was your kind of ethos? Or yeah, I think it's very much the same. I mean, pottery is such a kind of excellent tool for, you know, teaching someone and having a really nice time. So when I'm teaching, you know, it's all about being friendly.
Yeah.
It's all about just showing them a craft and just really enjoying the amazing world that pottery is. Yeah.
And talking about your workshops, have you been able to do any of them in lockdown, or are you
no,
no,
not at all. So there's a huge backlog of people. I mean, I've still got people from the first lockdown that I need to kind of reschedule in.
Sure.
But I think, and it's very difficult to kind of know what you're meant to be under. But I've kind of decided that if hairdressers can do hairdressing, then I can teach. So from the 12th of April, we're going to be back. So there's another 7 weeks to go. But yeah, so I'm starting to reschedule in all the missed classes, and then we'll start selling other classes. Because now I've got the bigger space, it will be, so I do like the 1-to-1s and the 2-to-1s because I've got 2 wheels for throwing. But I want to do more 5-week courses where you actually get to see the whole process from start to finish.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think it's really important when someone only comes for 3 hours, they just throw a pot and then that's it. They don't actually know what all the different stages that go through. So in the 5-week course, you actually get to see, you get to make your pot, you get to turn it, you get to, I then bisque fire it, and then you get to put all the glazes on, which is the really good thing. And then you get to load the kiln. And then, we then have like an after party where we have a little show and tell afterwards with wine. And everyone gets to see all the pots you've made, because, you know, people do make quite a few pots in that time.
Yeah.
So that'd be really nice. And then also, I don't know if you saw on the throwdown, they've been doing like the raku firings.
Yes.
I want to do a bit of that.
Yeah, I love that.
Which is really good fun. It's a really good kind of spectacle thing. So the idea is that people can come and throw their pots earlier in the year, and then we'll then set a date, and then everyone then comes along, and then, because it doesn't actually take that long because they're bisque fired, so they're like, they're already fired like this.
Right.
And then you then put your glaze on, and then you just stick them in a really hot kiln and heat them up, and then take them out with tongs, and then you stick them in buckets with like straw and hay and all sorts. Yeah. It's all rather exciting.
Yeah. I mean, it's great as well, because what you're offering there is something so personal as well, isn't it? It's you know, you've made a pot, you've made it, it's yours, you know, and then it's something that when you get your nachos out and your hummus, your pride and joy because you've made it. It's really quite
absolutely. Yeah. I love I'll get emails from people that have come to the classes, and they'll show me them sitting there with their pots, you know, and what they've made in it, and you know, they say, I use this every single day, it's my favourite.
Yeah, fantastic. So what are your goals and dreams for this year?
Well, I think just get back to teaching, that would be really nice. We've got Surrey Artists Open Studios again, so this year it will be in June. Well, fingers crossed that'll be in June because it was postponed for September. So that's really nice where, you know, everyone can come along. I'll be doing demonstrations. They can buy some pots if they wish. Yeah. And also I've got Maiden Kind. Have you heard of them?
Right.
So it's going to be a new website. Made by Jill Harvey, who's based in Dorking, and it's kind of like Etsy, but like old Etsy, but it's actually a non-for-profit organisation. So I will sell my pots through there. So it's all about small makers, small businesses, and then you buy the items through there, and then there's a percentage which then goes straight to charity, but it's real on-the-ground charities which are local. So it's really supporting, you know, local makers and your local community and all the local charities, which, you know, is a win-win.
Yeah, I mean that's a really good idea. Obviously, I'll get in touch as well, because with our events that we've got coming up, we like to do something with a sort of charity. So you know, there's always different ways of doing it, isn't there? So it's the charities are needing money at the moment as well. So that's a really great thing to do. So excellent. Yeah. And
I actually met her at the autumn Dorking Halls.
There we go.
Yeah.
No, cool. No, we'll chat after this, because there's a couple of things I need to talk to you about as well. So no, it's really exciting. I love the fact that sometimes there are people that come along to these events, and you know, people see what they do. I know there's things coming up in the pipeline with people that have come to our events, and they're going to be featured on great magazines, so because they've seen these people at the events. I can't say too much, but yeah, it's great to see.
That sounds great.
Yeah, and also anyone as well with any of the curated people, you know, have been approached, whether, let me know, because it's always just great to share this information about, you know, the collabs and what comes from doing our events as well, which is really great, isn't it? Really good. So excuse me, sorry. Who is your support network, would you say?
Well, definitely my husband. I can't thank him enough for giving me this beautiful studio. Oh, and friends and family. The local Sozzles, which is the Surrey Oak Social Ladies Society.
Lovely.
Which is a bit like the WI, but with Prosecco and beer.
That sounds
they're
good.
Very good. And also all the small makers. I mean, you know, you guys have just been fantastic. And, you know, it's just so nice to be able to be friends with other small makers who, you know, are in the same boat and actually understand what you're going through. Because it is actually quite lonely. And, you know, we're the ones that have to do everything from, you know, throwing the pots to firing them to doing all the website, the paperwork, the posting out, you know, and it does get a bit lonely.
Yeah, true. I think exactly what you said there, isn't it? You're sort of there. I mean, my job before, I was in a shop where there was loads of people. Now it's, you know, I might be, you know, in the workshop or in the office on your own, pottering away. But it is nice to just talk to other people, isn't it? Find out what they're up to, which is really important. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Flossie, bless her, she helped me this morning setting up. So we had a little video like this, so I could actually see. Spent like half an hour trying to get the video in the right place.
Oh, it's great. I think a lot of you are all. I've taken you all out of your comfort zone, and it's been really good. And I love that, and I love the fact that there are people as well people that are going to be doing the events are kind of, oh yeah, I'll do it then. I've kind of, so there will be some more 10 at 10s. Tomorrow is the last one, and then we'll be back. But it'd be really great to see some brand new people, what they're up to as well. So, which is really good. So what are you making there at the moment?
Well, that was a kind of random bowl. Oh yes, I know what else I've got this week. New this week.
Yep.
Pet bowls. Can you see these?
Wow. Excellent. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, I love that.
So, yeah, I got thinking we are a nation of, pet lovers. And,
yes.
I mean, I don't have any cats or dogs, but I do have chickens and a duck. And they're always using my bowls when I'm giving them treats. So actually, I think they should have their own.
Yeah.
So that would be nice.
Yeah.
So they're going to be personalised. So some of them will just kind of say water or food, but people can, have their favourite pet name on them.
I like that. That's really good. Yeah. No, we all know there's a lot of, I think in lockdown, people with their pets, their pets have been quite important to them, haven't they? So they all need a little treat. So there we go. So a dog ball. Excellent. I love it. Or cat ball or whatever. Yes, there we go. Somebody already. My cats would love these balls. Nicky Nacky Noo. There we go. A customer there. Just wanted to ask the last question is, why do you like working with Curated by Dapper and Suave?
Oh, well, it's just been so lovely. I mean, 2 years ago when I did that first autumn show, that was the first time I'd actually put my stuff out there in the market. And it's so scary because, you're putting your heart and soul into these items that you make. You have no idea what the public is going to make of them. You have friends and family loving your stuff, but, they're always going to say that they're great because, they love you. And it was just so nerve-wracking to actually kind of set up that stall of thing, and everyone's just so lovely. Everyone helps everyone else, and it's just been brilliant. And it's like a little family.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, I just wanted something you just said there, and I think was really important was when you mentioned your husband. What I love as well is with the events is we get to meet so many partners who they come along, they help, and they chug along with all the stuff, and they set up, and they're so supportive of all of you, and it's really great. And getting to sort of meet them, they come in, they help, they come at the end. It's really nice, and a big to all of the people that help everyone set up, and obviously help clear up as well, and get them to the venue and get them back as well. So a big thank you to all of them. I think it's really important for their support that they give to all of you. So just wanted to say something there for them. Yeah, exactly.
Especially when I do like the Surrey Oaks market, when that will be back on, that starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. You need to be there at 7 o'clock in the winter. It's pitch black, and you've got to set up your marquee. And poor Ferg is like, come on. We've loaded the car the night before. I mean, the problem, I wish I was a jeweller because everything would be like really light. I mean, pottery's heavy.
Yes.
Boxes and boxes of stuff, lugging it all in.
Yes, exactly. And also sometimes when you are trying to do the room, let's put the pottery people nearest the door so that they don't have to go so far.
I do appreciate that.
Cool. Well, do you want to finish what you're doing there or chat a bit more? Because that's great. You've just done that while talking. You make it look so easy.
Well, I mean, the whole stage from a pot from start to finish, this is the bit which, obviously once you get used to it, it is actually really quick. Making a kind of mug or a bowl will only be 3 or 4 minutes, but there's so much work involved from here. So after this is finished, this will then, I'll take off a little bit at the bottom here. And then, so I've got these plastic bats which are really handy, so you're not washing the pot as you come off. So then that will sit for up to maybe 2 days, and then it will then be turned upside down and then finish the bottom, so give it a foot rim and neaten and tidy all that up. That will then be left for, in the summer, if you're lucky, a week, but normally a couple of weeks before it's completely dry, because if you put anything in the kiln, if it's wet, or it's damp, it expands in the kiln and it basically explodes, and the bottom will blow off the pot, which is not good. So that's why in the pottery throwdown, when they're all getting cracks and things, it's because they're just rushing all through just to kind of get it done for TV, which is a real shame.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a bit of an unrealistic view of actually how long everything takes. So after it's thrown, it's then turned. It's then bisquified, which is to 1,000 degrees, which my kiln takes 8.5 hours to do that, but then I won't be able to open it for another 12 hours.
Wow.
Then after that, you then need to start applying the glazes, which I've got various. So I dip glazes and then I also paint on top. So, for example, like the stripy bowls that I make.
Yeah.
That is actually dipped in a brown glaze first of all.
Okay.
And then the stripes are then painted on with a wax resist.
Right.
And then I have to paint 3 layers of the blue over the top. And so when you're doing a lot of them, each layer has to dry between each time. So you have to kind of line them up, and then I put little labels next to them, because if you don't put enough layers on, you think, oh, have I done 2 or have I done 3? So if you've done 2, you're not going to get the right colour. And then if you end up doing 4, it's going to run off in the kiln because there's too much, and then you've ruined your pot, you've ruined the kiln shop.
Yes.
So there's a lot of kind of concentration with it. But then other ones are kind of quite quick. So I generally put this kind of brown glaze as the base.
Yes.
And then this one's actually dipped in the top. So this is 2 dipping. So that's then dipped in like that. So that's actually quite quick. And then depending on how thick it is, you'll get all these kind of really nice runs and really interesting marks.
And they're all different, which is great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a new colour glaze which I've been working on.
Wow.
So this is actually 3 glazes. So again, the brown on the bottom, and then there's a lilac and a pink, and you get something quite. Yeah, you never know what you're going to get. Whenever you open up the kiln, it's always rather exciting.
Yeah.
And sometimes very disappointing.
Somebody just asked a question about can children throw pots? Is that something that you do, or is it quite challenging with the kiln?
Mine's 14 plus.
Right.
I like to teach adults, really.
Sure.
The problem is the kind of physicality of it. When you're tiny, because it's all about elbows, and when you're tiny, you're like this, and you can't actually control the clay, because although the clay is soft, it's still really.
Sure.
You know, there's a lot of pressure involved. So there's a lot of kind of sticking, elbows in here.
Yeah.
And when you're tiny, it's quite difficult.
Yeah. So
more, I do kind of 14 plus.
Yeah. So more sort of with kids, it'll be more of the making thing, almost like when you're making things out of plasticine, but you make it with clay, isn't it? That's
sort of hand building. Yeah. But I really like teaching throwing because hand building is something that you can do at home. And I think it's really nice to be able to come to somewhere where you can actually use the wheels. Because even if you do like Anne or Ed, they'll only have a few wheels, and there'll be so many of you. You might only get kind of once a term. So
cool.
Yeah.
And there's just another question come up. There's Emma by Silver by the Button has asked, when she's watching the throwdown, it always seems to be that whatever colour glaze they put on might be not what the end result is. How do you know what you are going to get the colour you want?
Well, so some brands do kind of put dyes in them, so it's kind of a bit more obvious. But yeah, I've got some which, if they've got a lot of iron content in, they're going to be rust orange, and one will be blue and one will be, cream. But actually, they look exactly the same as when you put them on. So it's just what it's going to come out like on the label.
Yeah.
But you just have to get used to it, really.
So you almost know, because of the colour, you'll know what you're working with. You know what the end result is with it. It's a bit of cool. Yeah. Excellent.
But it is a lot of trial and error on a lot of things, especially when you're putting glazes on top of each other, because if one glaze by itself might be perfectly stable and stays where it is, but then you put it with another glaze and then they just start running off the pot. So it very much depends on whether you're making something horizontal or you're making something vertical, because you've got that, gravity will take it once it starts melting in the kiln. It's going to run off. So if you're doing particularly drippy glazes, you'll put them just at like the top 2/3 of the pot, and you certainly wouldn't put it at the bottom, because it will just.
Cool. I another loads of things. I kind of watch the pottery throwdown, and it's almost like this bit. Oh, okay. But like today, even just watching what you're doing has really helped me once again. It's all this the scientific stuff as well, and it's I've learned so much doing these 10 at 10s. Which so I say thank you so much. There are sort of questions popping up, so if anyone has got any questions, really, just pop over to Parkgate Pottery, and Andy would be more than happy to answer any questions that they might have. So she's always ready for that when she's not on the kiln. So thank you so much for today. It's been really, really interesting. Great to see you.
Thank you.
And we'll be back again on Friday, and that will be with lovely Claire, and she's from Class Art, Dorking lady, I should say. So we'll be back here on Friday, and that's for our last one just for this season. And then we'll be cracking on just getting the booking forms and everything, as I've talked about. It's hard work just getting everything all together, lots of changes with the regulations that have come out, whatever. So we should be all fine for our events. They're all going ahead, social distance or whatever they're going to be. So which is really great. So we'll see. Andy will be at those events. So yeah, thank you to everyone once again, and see you Friday. Take care.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Bye.
Bye.